you're looking for kindness, then this is where you should go. Now, each person's experience with each country is obviously very personalized and very different. If you're in a country for like 5 days, the probability that you meet one person that's really bad to you, and then you have that whole image of that person correlated with the country, is actually really strong. So many of the countries I'm going to mention, many of the cities I'm going to mention, I was there for around that amount of time, really, for 4, 5, maybe a week, and obviously that is not long enough to really know everything or know a whole culture about a country. But I am going to talk about my first impressions, and first impressions do last, you know. And I've talked to other people around the world, and they've sort of reinforced those beliefs. I really do think that cultures differ, and it might be that those cultures in particular, due to many factors overall, are nicer than some other cultures that I've encountered. So the first country I wanted to mention is Estonia. I was in Tallinn for a couple of days. It was midwinter, really, really lovely. And I had sort of a hard time. Like, I'm not that used to snow. And also, uh, I can't really read Estonian because it's like a really weird language. So, like, I accidentally parked where I shouldn't and I got a fine. And, yeah, I had to go around the city trying to look for, like, private parking spots and stuff. And, like, uh, I went to a parking lot where the guy that worked there said, "Nah, if you park here for the whole night, it's too expensive." And he told me like of another place to go, which I thought was really nice because like it was the place he works in, you know. So he could have just taken my money, but he actually told me to go somewhere else. And then I do go somewhere else, and there's this machine in Estonian that has an app in Estonian as well that I have no idea how to use, and like just like one of a tall blonde mid 20s, like 20s maybe kind of woman, just walking around, and I'm like, God, oh, what do I do? Can you help me? And she like just stops everything she's doing and really, really tries to help me. So that's like that. Those are two things that really stuck to my head. The guys at the hostel that lived in Estonia for a while. I don't know if he was from Estonia, but he had lived there for like 10 years or something. Also really helped me. And that yeah, it's pretty easy to stick around. You know, simple things like this just kind of made me really enjoy the country. So yeah, my experience in Estonia was definitely really nice. In Bosnia, that's the second country. When I went there, my phone was really fucked up, and it had been effed up for a while. And I took it to a shop, and the guy just opened it up and started like sort of fixing and cleaning it, and it worked again, like magic, really. It wasn't completely effed up before, but it was like it had some problems, and he just fixed it. And I was like, oh. I'm gonna pay you, and he's like, nah, nah, too simple, too simple. No, it's okay, it's okay. And I couldn't even like properly pay the guy, so that was an interesting experience. The other day, just the day after that, I was obviously hungry, looking for somewhere to eat, and I went to a bakery and I saw a really nice piece of bread, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy the bread, and so I ordered the bread and I try to pay, and they're like, oh no, no card, only cash, and I was like, fuck, I don't have any cash, and so they're like they give me the bread, and they're like, no, just come back later with the money, and I was in like the proper city center, like I was in Sarajevo, which is like the capital of Bosnia. Can you even imagine, like, if I was in, I don't know, New York City or in, even London or anywhere, and I was like, damn, I don't have cash, and they just give me what I ordered? Like, that would have been highly, highly unlikely, but they did do that in Bosnia. That was really nice as well. And then the third, what happened to me third time? Oh yeah, so I was in a fruit market, and I was just buying fruit and stuff, and I was sort of like, I only had one bag, and it was the bread bag, by the way, because that was just after. So I was putting everything in the bag, and a guy sees that, and like he was selling me something, and he just stops, takes it, he takes it from me, in a pretty aggressive or let's say assertive kind of way, and just starts reassembling it for me, so that like things are like better looked, I guess. And I thought it was really kind of him as well, because like he definitely didn't need to do that, and then he gave me an extra bag for things that I had not bought from him. I had not bought from him, so that was very interesting as well. Bosnia, really nice people overall. Estonia, really nice people overall. Where else did I have nice experiences? In Switzerland. So Switzerland, for some reason, it has like a bad fame, let's say. Like it isn't exactly famous for having kind people, but I quite disagree. In the French side, at least. In the German side as well. In the German side, I had a couple of friends that I had met in Canada in 2018. So it had been like 5 years since I hadn't seen them, and they both went out to meet me. They took me places. They rode me around, and one of them even like went to my hostel and like she brought pizza and like I was like, oh, I'm gonna pay for half of it, and she was like, no, no, this is all me. I mean, I guess Swiss people are rich, but still, one of them gave me chocolate, which like some sort of Swiss chocolate with chips and stuff, just like as a gift. So that was like really, really kind. And that was in the German part. In the French part, anytime I went shopping, I tried to practice my French, which is all right. Like I speak French. I can like hold a conversation. It's not as if I was native or anything. Especially when I was in France and I tried to speak French, like people would be very rude to me. I think they would be rude either way. Like, because if I spoke English, they weren't happy that I was speaking English in France. If I spoke French, they weren't happy that I was speaking French with an accent in France. So it was sort of like a no-win situation. But in Switzerland, it was not exactly the opposite, but like they were really nice to me and they spoke they responded to me in French and they understood everything I asked them, and they were nice and they were kind, and it was definitely not the situation where like everyone was sort of like very strict and stuff. They were really polite. They were smiling at me. They definitely made me feel not at home, but like welcome, let's say. So Switzerland is the third country, and the fourth country is actually the UK. So I think the UK actually has so out of people who watch my channel, like 20% are Americans and like some 15% are from the UK or something. So like there's a bunch of people watching this channel that are from the UK, and I think it's because I make a lot of videos on like Kansas and stuff. But it doesn't matter why. What matters is you guys are really nice. Like you guys are really nice. And I lived in the UK when I was a kid, and one thing I can definitely tell is like even if you're mad at someone, you're still gonna be sort of polite, unless you're in like in a pub or in like a drinking environment. Like you guys get pretty aggressive with your drinking, like the Irish. But other than that, like British people, they have a not a they're old fashioned in a way. Let's say things that would be normal everywhere in the 19th century sort of are still normal in Britain now, and it goes like just to formalities with teachers and formalities with strangers and small talk and the way you compliment people, and even if they're doing something that like they shouldn't be doing, you should try to tell them in a way that is like kind. So that was that was definitely the experience I had. I traveled around the UK. So I lived there until 2012. Had a lot of good experiences. I wouldn't be able to just name all of them, but like I really liked living there. And then when I left and I went back last year in 2024, I had just some great experiences as well. And I went all the way through. I went like London and then Liverpool, and I did a little bit of Wales, and I went to Glasgow and Edinburgh and the Highlands, and then Belfast, and then down to Ireland, to the Republic of Ireland, and through and through in hostels, in restaurants. People were just nice to me, honestly. And old people, young people, tour guides, waitresses, and you take it as a given, but it definitely isn't a given. Like there are some countries where like some people are really, really nasty to me. Let's say Slovenia was one of them. Though I don't think Slovenians are nasty. Just like I said, I had this one bad experience with a bus driver in Slovenia, and then it's just stuck. It stuck to your head. Where it's like, that country is not good, but that's not true. Slovenia is a lovely country. I just had a bad experience, and yeah, it's just also Slovenia is a beautiful, beautiful country, really nice. But yeah, I think I'll stick with those four. Estonia, Bosnia, Switzerland, and the UK are definitely the countries, at least in Europe, where I had like by far the best experience. One bonus country is the country I'm in right now, Australia. Australians are very aggressive in the sense of like they're aggressively peaceful. They want to tell you, they tell you in an aggressive way how nice and peaceful and fine they are, and like they really want to be friendly with you. And I've talked to other immigrants about it, and especially if you don't speak very like English very well or Australian very well, it can kind of put you off because they're like, "Yo, mate," like in a very and it's all nice and all, but it does you intimidate people a little bit. But one thing I'm gonna say about Australians is how nice authorities overall here are. Before you come to Australia, when you're applying for a visa, like Australian immigration is like really strict, but then like Australia, like police and like the people who check your tickets at trams and stuff, like they're pretty nice. They're pretty kind. Like I've seen many, I had many experiences where someone hadn't paid for the tram, and in other countries people would just find them, but then they start explaining their situation, and like the inspector is just like calmly listening, and then calmly explaining and telling them the like possibilities and the alternatives that they have, and explaining to them how the tram works. So like that. Definitely in this sort of thing, in terms of authorities, in terms of even of bureaucracy, like I had to do some things to get like my Brothers school curriculum here, like recognized internationally, and it had to do with some Australian bureaucracies with some Australian like government agents, let's say, and they're really nice. That they're really kind. So Australia, I guess, is going to be like a bonus in this video. But yeah, those who were in Europe also really they really stuck to my mind. Canadians are nice. There's lots of nice people overall. Asians, I've never been to an Asian country, so it's kind of hard to say, oh, that country in Asia is nice. But Asians that I meet abroad, I've worked in like Asian weddings. I've met Asians at hostels and all that. And I'll tell you, like, they're so polite, and I think it's because they're scared that people don't understand them, because, like, sometimes they don't speak the language as well. But yeah, it's just really cute where they're all like smiling at you, and like you say something that's really basic, and they go, "Wow!" Like not all Asians. I think mostly East Asians, and I've had a lot of this particular experience with Chinese people. But yeah, uh, just I think I've talked too much, so this is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys around.